But it's always someone that you want to have like a role model, right? Like someone that you respect so much that you want to be like.
Yeah.
Like
Who's that for you?
Pharrell, JC also. I grew up watching them, and I know more far than music, the impact in culture they have. And that's what I want to be as Latino, you know, because we never had the opportunity to be on a global scale.
When you see the rise of, like, Latinos in music, you know, whether it be a Bad Bunny who we had on the show, are you proud or are you competitive? You know, how are you feeling about just the other artists in the space?
Man, I'm really proud. I'm really proud because we are looking for, I was saying, like, I wanted the culture to grow up. Because I'm from Colombia, you know, reggaeton started in Puerto Rico. I'm on the side. It's like kind of like Drake from Canada, that, you know, hip hop is US, right? I'm from Colombia. And you guys from Puerto Rico are the one who created the reggaeton, you know? Like, I mean, it's a long story. Like, everything started always from Africa.
Yeah.
That's where humanity started, period. You just cannot, there's no other way. It's Africa. Then he jumps to Jamaica doing the dancehall.
With the drums and...
Yeah, dancehall. Then the Panamanians started doing the Spanish version of the dancehall.
Correct.
The same melodies with a different lyric.
What did they call it?
Raga, from Panama. Then Puerto Rico, they took that sound and they started like speed it up a little bit more or slower. And that whole reggaeton.
That was the hip-hop.
Yeah, and we were influenced from hip-hop, New York being
New York,
so close.
Puerto Ricans in New York.
So that's one for rap. I'm keeping score.
You keeping score. So Romeo, by the way, talking about Latin music, it's always been big, but now you got like all the new artists, Bad Bunny. What's the difference, what they're going through now and dealing with versus when you first started? Because you've been around a very long time.
Shit, the bag.
The bag got bigger, right?
The bag, I mean, no, but all jokes aside, you know, I think that especially urban music is living a momentum that's amazing. Like, and the digital just changed absolutely everything in a good way. Guys like Bad Bunny, Balvin, Ozuna, you know, they kind of inspired other artists like, okay, we can become successful and a lot faster than in my generation. You know, before I even reached stardom, I was already doing local clubs and shit like that for like 5 years. You know, the industry has changed so drastically that it's like, yo, you could become un fenómeno de la noche a la mañana.
Off a hit on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
song,
like I'm talking about like, these guys are, like I remember speaking to Ozuna when he was just starting. Like a year and a half later, he was a superstar.
And you've collaborated with a lot of artists. Like, who was the one that surprised the fuck out of you? Like, damn, that's some shit I didn't expect. They went to a level you didn't know they were gonna go to.
So I produced and wrote a record for my second solo album with Mark Anthony. It was a salsa, which is no es mi fuerte. You know, I'm a bachatero, I do bachata, but I'm a huge fan of salsa as well. And for him to trust me in producing and songwriting a salsa, for me was like surreal. And I recall being in the studio with Mark, just guiding him. Like, by the way, he doesn't need no guidance, but you know, I'm like, yo, could you do it like this? Could you do it like that? And I'm so passionate about this shit that I'm a bit intense at moments. And I remember that once we were done with the session, he was like, bro, I can't remember the last time that I was in a studio session this long and motherfuckers telling me, yo, could you do the slogan like this? And that was, for me, a surreal moment just because I grew up on Mark. Like, I just grew up like, wow, this guy to me was like unreachable. And to be able to write, produce a song with him, like, that's just crazy to me. That was a very special moment.
I started my career, it was really like a blessing from God, because when I started, my first song that blew up, I started to do the English hip-hop music in Spanish. I was like the first Spanish artist to do the trap music. Everybody used to just do reggaeton.
Of course.
So I used to look. This all started, and the idea started back then when, you remember when Lil Wayne dropped the Millie Lollipop?
Yeah.
When he used to be the #1 artist like in the world. I used to look at him. I used to back then the Spanish music was not on the same level as the English music.
Yeah.
Not even close. We used to everybody used to dream about it, but still the biggest artists like the Daddy Yankees, Don Omar, Teo Calderon, they was opening up the doors for us, opening up. So I was like, how can, is it possible for the #1 artist one day in the world to be Spanish artist? So I used to look at Lil Wayne, so I was like, I gotta start doing what he's doing in Spanish, little by little.
I'm sorry, can we just pause on that for a second? Because I feel like that's it's such a teachable moment.
Yeah.
That question you asked yourself is the question, you asked the question that brought you where you are. You could have asked any question, but you asked, can the #1 artist in the world be, that's...
And then he went for it.
That's because you set a path.
Yeah, that's
That's fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
Sorry, that's amazing.
You're right.
I see myself chasing something still. I know I've accomplished a lot of big things and even great things, but when you still know you can do, you still know you haven't reached that, what you want. You ain't there yet. Maybe it's just us being hard on ourselves.
Yeah, I'm terribly
we're
hard
just
on
so
myself.
competitive.
Yeah.
And we just want to be so great that's what greatness is. It's just keep driving you. Is there such thing as
I don't think
a
there's...
limit to greatness?
No, and I don't think there's a place that you can get to.
When did you realize this is a business? Oh shit, I thought I was just making music and now I got all these things to do. Like Chad said, I gotta go to the table and negotiate and treat it like a business.
I was making some noise in the city,
Which
in New
city?
York. New York.
Yeah, the city.
What part?
The city?
What part of New York?
Yeah, the city.
Just the whole New York,
Shit, the whole thing buzzing.
Because the thing is,
from the BX, from the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx. So, the thing is, in New York, once you start making noise, everybody knows who you are, really. It's hard to make it out of New York, I feel like. You can make it in New York, but to make it out is, another story. And so, I had put out the Munch snippet, and that's when, the whole little bidding stuff started to happen like that, you know what I'm saying? So,
Did you know immediately when you put Munch out?
No.
No?
I had no idea. I was sitting on Munch for 6 months before I even teased it. Yeah. So.
And were you intimidated in those label meetings? Were you like, whoa, this is not what I
was definitely intimidated. I was only 22 and it was just a big deal to me, you know what I'm saying? And I could tell everybody in the meeting was very serious, so.
She I'm just trying to make music for the people.
Yeah, word.
For my people, I ain't with all this.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I be locked in.
In hip hop, I like to think I've been a leader of the Latinos for 20-something years. And so it really hurts me when I see a Latino under my comment and he be the one with the hate. Or if I walk in a place and I'm in a place and every black face is smiling, every white face is smiling, and I see some Puerto Ricans in the corner looking with the hate, I'd be like, damn, man, I've been fighting for you, man. You serious, man?
I feel like you're talking
It really
to me
hurts. No. You're my guy. I mean, we're in the Puerto Rican corner over here. Shout out to my Cubans, too, because I'm half Cuban, half Puerto Rican. They'll lynch me if I don't pick them up, but it hurts.
Julio, you play always baseball? Anything beyond baseball?
Always baseball.
Just
That's
baseball?
In the DR, it's always baseball.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. No,
there's some
soccer.
hoopers, Al Horford from the DR.
I mean, yeah, but he was more in the States than the DR, you know?
Yeah.
But over there is everywhere baseball.
Everybody
On the
plays
streets,
baseball.
School, everywhere. We don't have a lot of a big basketball or soccer. Soccer is growing now, so you might like to go over there. Yeah. But it is growing right now, but everywhere is baseball. If you was born a boy, oh, he's gonna be a baseball player. That's the first thing that they would say.
So it's already in your crib when you get home. A little bat, a little baseball.
That was my mom. My mom was the first one that bought me a bat.
How old were you?
I mean, I was just born when she gave me the first one, so I was ready. I was already getting into it.
Yeah, I can't explain to you guys, I'm Puerto Rican, he's DR, there's a different level of baseball is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Yeah.
Everyone plays. How early did you know you had a chance to be a pro? Because everyone there
I would say around 13, 14. That's whenever I started doing tryouts and being seen by all the teams and all that. And I started seeing 16, 15 years old, that kind of were getting looked at. I was okay, if he has a shot, then I think I can make it too. So I feel that's whenever I realized that, okay, I think we can make something with that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you go to the big leagues, when did you realize, we were talking about this earlier, like, I belong here? Because to me, that's the hardest skill in sports, is hitting a baseball. But when you're like, I got this, I can play on this level.
I feel like when I first got there, I knew I was prepared because I was able to like play with some other big leaguers and kind of like learn from them. And I had some chances to go in spring training because you kind of get invited for spring training a little bit and then you get sent down and you're playing the season. But once I got up there, the first thing that struck me was I'm really playing with my favorite players, with all my favorite players. So that was kind of the first thing that you kind of get. Well, after the first month, I remember this particular game against the Rangers. I went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts and a line drive to Adolis Garcia, and I was like, man, I gotta do something about this. And that's whenever, like, okay, I need to actually get rid of that, and I belong here, and I started playing like with my skill and like trusting myself. And I felt that's whenever it started for me after that first month of the year.
It's become instincts then.
Well, it's amazing because you went 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. You could go the other way.
Of course. Do I belong here?
You could
Can
be
I
like,
play
do
at
I
this
belong
level?
or start doubting yourself? How were you able to like find confidence in that, and who helped you? Was it like a teammate, your mom?
I just feel like the people that I had close to me, you know, I have my agent, he knew me since I was 14, but before I was somebody to call it like that. I have my family that was right there, and like obviously the work that I put in, you know. I feel like I always thought that I worked really well, like I work a lot to kind of get to the opportunity, and I didn't want it to let it go to waste. And I feel like there are a lot of people that trust me, and I just felt like I didn't want to let them down. And that's why I said I had to keep my head up because there's no turning point for me. I'm not going to go to the minors, and I just got to make it work right now. And that was kind of my mentality going into it.